My name's Andy, and on today's video we're going to do an upgrade that I don't need to do. It's one of those guilty pleasures. I got some new valve covers. There is nothing wrong with the ones that are on here. The ones I got though, I just like the look of them, and we all have probably a little bit of vanity in us and that we want our engine bay to look good, and this is just one of those steps that we're taking to jazz this up. The one nice thing though about these new valve covers is they are taller than these ones that I have on here. I have some Mickey Thompson valve covers. I didn't even know they made them, but they came on the car. The new ones are taller, and if I go to a rocker style setup, I may need that clearance. I don't know yet. Just kind of a fun little upgrade, and it doesn't need to be done. But we're gonna go ahead and swap these out, and we got some new gaskets to go with it, and so let's get started. This is the new valve cover that we got. These Ford Performance ones, they're aluminum, and they've got a real nice paint coat to them. We're also gonna need a new breather cap, some new fasteners, and I'm just gonna put in a new gasket set for these while we're in there. All right, let's open this up. Woohoo! Oh man, these are nice. Okay, so let's take a look at these. Oh boy. These are nice. So again, these are a aluminum part, and they are tall so that if we do want to upgrade the guts inside the top of the head there, I've got the space now. Okay, look at that. And this will be the driver's side. This has the larger port there for the breather tube, or the breather that we're going to put in there. And then also notice that this mount hole is considerably taller than the rest of those, and they do include the hardware for that so that you can put those in, so that's good. Ooh, these are, I wish you guys could, this paint is so smooth, it's so nice, and then it's almost like they painted this and then they just machined the top of this off, and this is a real nice look. This is gonna be great. Let's get that other one out. Yeah, so you notice how this has got the smaller port there, so that's where the PCV valve's going to go. Notice that these are two different sizes there, and that'll be perfect for this breather. Put this guy will go right in there. Perfect. Okay. One of the downsides with this valve cover is it's got this flat bottom. The other valve cover on the car has that indentation where the gasket would fit inside there. We're going to use some gasket material to essentially just kind of coat this gasket just enough to make it stick to the valve cover, and then we'll let it set and cure, and then we can just go ahead and set this on the heads. One thing we do need to do though is cut off these little tabs, because for this to work, these little tabs aren't going to do any value. They're not going to add any value. So we just go ahead and cut them off, and then we can get this thing glued to the gasket, glued to the valve cover. All right, so just go ahead and cut these off. All right, one down, let's do the other one. So both of these gaskets are ready to go. Let's go ahead and glue them to the valve cover. Now it's pretty cold in here today, so this is not something that you'll want to do when it's cold. I left this in the house overnight to let it warm up, but just being out here working today, it's starting, you can tell this is already getting cold and it's getting a little stiffer, and it doesn't want to fit the valve cover perfectly. So this is one of those things where if you can do it inside, you're probably better off. Also, I don't know if it matters to some, but if I line up, like for example, this hole right there, and go walk down to this one, it doesn't line up perfectly. So if I stretch it just a little bit, it will line up, but it won't stay that way. So what I've got is some little clips that we'll use to just kind of hold that like so once we glue this on. So we're gonna use some of this ultra black gasket maker, and we don't need to coat the heck out of this thing, but we're just gonna put a nice bead all the way around this valve cover, and then we'll just kind of smear it on just to make a good seal. And that might be too much already. So we're just gonna smear it, and this is also, I also left this stuff in the house overnight to let it kind of warm up a little bit. Whew, it's already making a mess. And what we want is a continuous bead of this stuff all the way around. We don't want to have any breaks in it because that's where oil could get past. Wow, this is a lot. You guys be careful when you're doing this. I might have put too much on here. We'll start in the center here and work our way around. And your gauge is to just make sure that the holes line up with the gasket. And here I've got that problem over here. So what we're going to do is we're going to, if I can clip this on here like that. Now these are not very strong, which is, they just need to be just enough to hold it in place. I don't want to really crush this thing. So now what we'll do is just kind of go around and push down, just make sure that everything's nice and sealed to the valve cover. Again, I think I put too much on here. These things are kind of bulging out a little bit. It's not going to hurt anything. It might take a little bit longer to cure. So now we're going to take this in the house and we'll just let it sit in the warmer part of the house since it's so cold out here in the garage, and just let that cure, and then we'll do the other one. All right, let's do the second one. And we're going to let this sit up inside the house just like the other one, and then after a few minutes you can remove these clamps, and then I'm actually going to flip them over and let it rest on the gasket so that it helps put pressure on this gasket. There won't be anything, you know, you maybe want to put some cardboard down or something, but it's not going to stick. Hopefully it doesn't stick anything if you didn't get carried away with the gasket maker. And while we let that gasket maker set up on those gaskets inside the house, let's go ahead and get these pulled off. I think the easiest way to do this is to just go ahead and just start with one side at a time. If you've got your heater hoses routed like I do, then you'll want to make sure those are out of the way. But we're going to want to get to these 6 bolts, pull this off, and then we'll set it aside and get ready for the new valve cover. And before we put the new one on, you're going to want to go make sure and clean out this edge here of any debris, any oil, anything, just to get this edge just clean so that it'll create a good seal when we put that new valve cover on. Now for the driver's side. For mine, I'm going to just remove this distributor cap just to get these wires out of the way so we can get to this assembly a little bit easier. All right, now that we got this clean, and this gasket is not, this is still just a little tacky, which is fine. It's enough to hold this in place, so as we put this upside down, it doesn't fall off, and that's the important part while we try to put this on the car here. Okay, well, darn it. This new hardware that I bought, I can't reach because the bolts are not long enough. So that means I'm gonna have to use these old ones that I was using. which is unfortunate. Now these ones that I'm using they work. They're the right size. I like the looks of this style better on here. Ah, darn it. Oh well, this will work for now. I went back and tightened up all of the fasteners on here, including this one. This doesn't match those, but that's okay, it doesn't matter. We can put this down back in here, and we just need to put the breather on. There we go. All right. Make sure you clean this area off on the heads, and then you can go ahead and put your new valve cover on. On this side, I have to be a little more careful. I got this heater hose in the way, and I tried to zip tie it out of the way a little bit to give me a little more clearance. But you're just gonna be a little more patient putting this one on, and you don't wanna bump that gasket so that it falls off of the valve cover. All right, we'll plug in the wire for the electronic choke, get that one in place, and then the PCV valve goes right in there. That's a nice snug fit, I like that. Okay, good. Okay, that's gonna take care of that. I think this looks fantastic. I really like these valve covers. This is, it really jazzes up this engine bay quite a bit. I do want to mention though, for those that are looking at these, the paint scratches really easy. When I was tightening these bolts down using that Allen wrench, I scratched the paint just the slightest little bit. So that tells me that down the road when I go to maybe wipe these off or clean them, as I'm just cleaning up the engine bay, I just need to maybe use one of those microfiber cloths or something fresh and new, and just try not to scratch these, because it looks like they do scratch easy, but the paint is so smooth. Oh, these are nice. I love them. This looks fantastic. There is a air cleaner that you can buy that matches these, and I may do something like that down the road. I do know that this one though, it fits just up inside this cowl on this hood because of the height. You know, there's a spacer underneath here. I may have to pull that out or something. We'll see how this comes out, but for now, I think it looks much better. It's really starting to clean up this engine bay, and this was a lot of fun. Again, it's something that I didn't need to do. There's nothing wrong with the other ones. This looks so good. I'm happy. All right, thanks for sticking with me. We'll see you in the next one. Oh, it's cold in here again. Woo.
Oh, this shouldn't be so hard to do. Oh, there we go.
Ugh, this stuff, it's just gnarly.
Ugh, gets on everything.
It's so cold I can't talk. Oh, crap. That looks like crap. Can't put that wire, I have to fix that. I'm gonna have to move that wire. That looks dumb. Oh well. Man, these look good. Woohoo!